Ciao a tutti and welcome to DIY Italian Citizenship. I'm here at the Amalfi Coast in Italy, and today I would like to talk about the different kinds of naturalization documents that you can request.
This video will cover the 4 key naturalization documents that you might need for your Italian citizenship application: the Declaration of Intent, the Petition for Naturalization, the Oath of Allegiance, and the Certificate of Naturalization. During this video, we will also discuss very briefly where to find these documents, but I will be creating more videos to show you exactly how to request all of these documents soon, so stay tuned. Please note that each consulate has different requirements for which of these documents are needed for Iure Sanguinis applications, so please make sure to check with your consul before deciding which documents to order. Before we dive into these documents, let's get a very simplified overview of how the naturalization process worked back in the day. First, your ancestor moves to the US from Italy and lived as a resident here some number of years, depending on the immigration laws of the time. Eventually, your ancestor would file a declaration of intention when they decided they wanted to indeed become a US citizen. Then they had to wait a little longer. Then they could file a petition for naturalization. After the petition is filed, they swear an oath of allegiance and are granted a certificate of naturalization. Now, let's take a closer look at these 4 documents. The Declaration of Intention to Naturalize was step 1 of the citizenship process. The document looks something like this. There's a lot of stuff on here, but basically what you need to know is that this is the piece of paper that formally registered your ancestor's intention to become a naturalized US citizen. After filing the declaration, your ancestor would have had to wait some requisite amount of time, normally between 1 and 3 years, before going to step 2 of the naturalization process. To figure out where to find this document, you will need to know the approximate date the declaration was filed and whether your ancestor filed the declaration through a federal court or not. For declarations filed prior to 1906, the document can be found through the state archives of the state where your ancestor naturalized, or through a National Archives, or NARA, regional facility if they naturalized through a federal court. All declarations of intention that were submitted after 1906 can be found at NARA regional facilities and are also on microfilm in the National Archives. I've given links to everything referenced here in the description of the video below. As a side note, if your family is still in possession of the original document, then it is likely that your ancestor did not actually naturalize, as your ancestor would have had to submit their copy of the Declaration of Intention for later steps in the naturalization process. Once your ancestor filed the Declaration of Intention and waited the requisite amount of time, he or she could formally file for a petition of naturalization, sometimes called a petition for citizenship. This document looks like this. You can find this document the same way that you can find the Declaration of Intention, by either searching through state archives or a NARA regional facility. Next, your ancestor would have sworn an oath of allegiance. The oath looks something like this. For our purposes, the most important part of the oath is found at the bottom. If you have your ancestor's oath of allegiance, look for the C file number in the bottom right-hand corner of the document. This will help you find the Certificate of Naturalization document later on, should you need to request it. I will explain what I mean by C file numbers and all of that in more detail in a later video. Oaths are also found by either searching through state archives or a NARA regional facility. Please note that for all of the documents that I've mentioned so far, you will also be able to find them at the city, county, state, or federal court where the document was issued. Please also note that these documents could have actually been submitted in different locations, particularly if your ancestor moved during the naturalization process. Finally, we come to the Certificate of Naturalization. The Certificate of Naturalization is the document issued after a U.S. citizen hopeful completes all of the citizenship requirements and has signed the Oath of Allegiance to the United States. In other words, this certificate shows that the naturalization is a done deal. The Certificate of Naturalization looks something like this. This document is required by many of the consulate offices and is only available via the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS, website. However, USCIS only holds certificates of naturalization records for naturalizations that occurred between September 27, 1906 and March 31st, 1956, which should cover the vast majority of those of you watching. In other words, NARA and the local courthouses cannot provide this particular document. And that's it. As a recap, the four main documents you need to know about for your Iure Sanguinis application are the Declaration of Intention, the Petition for Naturalization, the Oath of Allegiance, and the Certificate of Naturalization. Please stay tuned to my channel for more detailed videos about exactly how to find and order each of these documents.
Thank you for tuning into DIY Italian Citizenship. I hope you found this video helpful. Please leave a comment below and visit my blog.